Hey there! Welcome to another introductions thing to Justice League Europe, and today we're kicking off with Metamorpho, and I'm hoping to include Ralph Dibny in this as well. So Metamorpho is made up of all these elements. He's made up of crystals, he's made up of gas and solid and all these things. So what's cool about him is, let's look at him in fights. When he goes into a fight, I think he's phosphorus right here. He's a gas or a vapor, and he's glowing. So that's very phosphorescent of him. And in the very next, like 2 pages in, he is also in solid. He is metal. He says, "Got him!" Wrapped up in solid something, and before he can say it, someone crashes through him, and a couple pages later, actually, this is interesting. And like a full half comic later, he's like, now guys, now I got him. It's important to say, Metamorpho has a couple of costumes, like some of these characters, they go through costume changes, and I also showed you this one. So thing about Metamorpho is, unlike the other heroes where Flash can put on his costume and take his costume off, where Batman and Superman, they have Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne and all these other alter egos, secret identities, Metamorpho doesn't have another identity. He's just stuck that way. And from what he says, he's always in agony because his body's always changing into different things. He's always in agony. So he's kind of like a Wolverine. Like I said, his accent is more colloquial. He's American, obviously, but he is not, he's something else. Like he's Boston or something. I don't know what his accent is. And something else that's kind of interesting about Rex is he has this secret girlfriend. Also, as I told you, some of these characters, they're going to be obscure. They're going to be like people you haven't known, people you haven't seen in cartoons and movies and stuff. But Metamorpho should be familiar to you because he has appeared in the, I think, Green Lantern series. That was like the 3D kind of thing, or maybe the Batman animated series with Katana in it as Alfred's niece. So he's been in a couple of cartoons, and you can get a story from there. So as you can see, he can turn into a gas. He hides when people are walking by. That's the bench that he and his girlfriend are sitting, and this is another colleague of his, or teammate of his, called the Crimson Fox. And as he calls her Frenchie. Everybody's like, no, Crimson Fox like, Metamorpho, please let me go. Frenchie, what are you saying? It's Rex, the guy who loves you. They've been dating secretly for a long time, but I'll tell you exactly why Crimson Fox is resisting him at this moment. When we get to Crimson Fox's video, there's more than one identity of Crimson Fox. So yeah, that's Metamorpho. He goes through a couple of... Oh wait, I actually wanted to show you. So because he turns into gas, because he turns into... wait, where was that issue? Oh yeah. So this, as you can see, is issue 61 from February 64. And this is issue 62 from March 94. And as you can see, his costume over here is a lot different from his costume over here. And that's because somewhere in the middle of this comic, this is exactly where we're going to see it. This is the last time you're going to see Metamorpho in his old costume. Once again, it's not his costume, it's just the way he is. He's in like different have you ever heard of the Metal Men? What I don't understand is, like, every issue with Metamorpho is kind of like a chemistry lesson or a science lesson, and maybe that's because of this. A long time ago, somewhere in the 60s, the Flash, at least, he was commissioned by the U.S. Space Force or whatever to become, that's the reason they made Barry Allen a police scientist. He uses science to solve crimes, and all of his villains were, the all of his villains were like Captain Cold and Pyromancer, and there was a flute dude, the Pied Piper used. Oh, there it is. His villains were Heatwave, Captain Cold, Optic, Mirror Master, Meteorological, Weather Wizard, Sonic, Pied Piper, Gyroscopic the Top, Chemical. So I don't know why we need two of these people, but yeah, Metamorpho is always like a chemistry lesson, and so he changes his costume. This is the last time you're going to see him in the classic one, and this is the second version of him, because in the 90s, people were getting old. They wanted to make them new again, make them look fresher. So Supergirl and Metamorpho get costume changes during this time.